when I look at Valentina Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another MMA breakdown of UFC 266. These are my thoughts, and hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video of UFC 266 breakdown. The things that I see are the same things that happened when Anderson Silva was in his prime, and people like that, and Fedor was in his prime. Fighters would go in there like, I'm going to survive. They didn't seem like they had the confidence. They'll talk it up. I'm going to beat his ass. I'm going to beat this girl's ass. But when they really get in there, it's another ball game. Because you think about it like this, guys. Valentina Shevchenko throws everything with ferocity, technique, high quality. And these other fighters, they're like afraid to engage. You have to throw to get your opponent to even get flustered or get nervous. With Valentina Shevchenko, 6 consecutive title fights, she's making it look completely easy because, like Conor McGregor even said, there's elite fighters and average fighters. And Lauren Murphy seems like she's that kind of like, I'm a good fighter, but I'm not great. But you can't be nervous to throw. And like I said, Anderson Silva, Fedor Emelianenko, even at the time Conor McGregor, these fighters were not scared to engage and just throw everything with ferocity to knock their opponents out. And that's what Shevchenko's doing, throwing everything at her opponents to knock her opponents the fuck out. And the advice that Lauren's coaches were giving her were like, you're winning in the clinch, you're doing good. She wasn't doing good at anything. Everybody's got to come in like Matt Serra versus GSP, like, I'm the underdog, I'm not scared, I'm here to shock the world, I'm here to beat your ass. And if you come forward on like a Shevchenko and be very dominant, that's why Nick Diaz had a little bit of a hard time versus Robbie Lawler, because Robbie Lawler was just like, I'm going to be very vicious, very violent, and come forward and throw and throw and throw and throw. And his cardio, maybe it wasn't as good as Nick's, but it was still on that elite level where he said, I could hang with you in the cardio game, and I'll throw 300 punches like you're going to throw. I'm going to keep throwing. And that's why Nick Diaz didn't get off the game that he normally does by backing up his opponents and throwing those pitter-patter punches. Even though Diaz landed a bunch of punches, that's what people got to do against like Shevchenko. You got to pressure the action, come forward, and throw and throw and throw. And if you're not, and you're just kind of like waiting, you get hit and you go, where'd that come from? And then you're waiting, you're never gonna win. That's how I look at it with her versus Shevchenko. Shevchenko is a girl that's like, I'm not scared. I fought everybody, just like Anderson Silva in his prime. He would literally kick people in the face and people be scared. People be literally nervous to engage, right? They're like, oh my God, he took out Rich Franklin, he took out all these elite guys, so people were scared. So it's the same thing with Lauren Murphy. She goes, well, I'm on a 5-fight winning streak, but the level of competition that she has faced is never close to what Shevchenko is. And if they at least explain to you, you're getting your ass whooped, and this is what you need to do to get better. But as always, guys, that's why Lauren Murphy didn't win. It's not that she couldn't win, she never really engaged. Okay, she sat there like a lot of fighters, like a deer in the headlight. They're like, I'm really in here against Shevchenko. I'm really in here against Anderson Silva. And they wouldn't throw the volume that they did in their previous fight. Their previous fight, they were throwing 120 punches. This fight, 30 punches. It's like they never engaged. And they'll go back and watch the tape and go, oh, yeah, I don't know why I didn't engage. Like, Shevchenko is elite as hell. And then on this hand, you got average. And that's the thing, average. There's a difference between extremely high level and average. And I would put Murphy into that camp as average. As always, guys, I think the only fight for Shevchenko is the Amanda Nunes fight, which I think will probably never happen. But she's going to go on to be as good as Demetrius Johnson, have 11 title fights. And there might be somebody that will beat her, but right now, most fighters are never going to beat Shevchenko because she's great at the grappling game. She's very vicious on the ground, and I'm talking very violent. She doesn't care. Like, when she has her opponents beat, she beats them violently. And you know something, guys? Sometimes fighters, they need that severe ass whooping to get better. GSP lost to Matt Serra, and he said it helped him get better. It helped him come out, because when he fought Matt Serra the second time, he violently hurt Matt Serra's knees on the ground. Unless they have Amanda Nunes versus Valentina, I really don't think any of these two fighters are going to get competition that is going to be really a tough outing. I really don't think so. I think it's going to be either Valentina just keeps going on a murderous row. It's going to be the same thing with Amanda Nunes. She's going to go on a murderous row. It's just the competition isn't there for these two fighters. They're the only two fighters that should be fighting each other, to be completely honest with you. But like I said, Amanda Nunes is probably going to retire before that third fight happens. But as always, it's your boy Trevor back from the MMA Breakdown. But that's the reason why people are not beating Valentina Shevchenko. It's not because they're not talented. It's not because they're not great. It's not because they're too elite. It's because they're not engaging.